Hi, I'm Fred Reed from Oswego County Today. Today we are here with Ethan Parkhurst, 2019 Fulton Mayoral Candidate. Ethan, how are you?
Good, Fred. How are you doing?
Good, thanks for coming down.
Thanks for having me.
So, like I've asked everybody else, why don't you start a little bit with who you are and where you're from? Or
Sure. My name is Ethan Parkhurst. I was originally from here. My mom had moved us around quite a bit when we were younger. We ultimately ended up in Mexico, Palermo area. But I've always had roots here. I've always come back to this area, to Fulton. I've always been here, growing up with my friends, and this place has resonated with me. So I bought my house here, and I found I wasn't content with raising my family here, and not because of anything super horrible. It's just the drug epidemic is out of control. We have our taxpayers paying for stuff, and we don't know what we're paying for. We don't have reliable infrastructure. We don't have gainful employment. We don't have that stuff. So, that's why I decided to run for mayor. I own a construction company. It's called PCW Professionals. We do a lot of residential work, not inside the city anymore because we don't want any conflicts of interest. I did attend Mexico High School. I ended up finishing school there. I did go to Fulton schools to begin with, like I had said. And I take care of my 75-year-old grandmother out in Palermo, where she lives and my kids currently live now, which they are moving to Fulton. I don't want to raise my family, and this is going to sound bad, but I don't want to raise my family in the city where there's needles in the parks, where you can't send your kids to the parks without finding paraphernalia of some kind. And it takes one prick and all of a sudden, boom, hepatitis C. I don't want my kids involved in that. So out in the country for a little while until we can get this place a little more safe, a little more livable for our youth, because our youth is our future. And especially my kids, I want to protect my kids, obviously, as any parent would. I'm sure if you have kids, you relate. And this whole process has been a blast. I have had so much good experience with meeting the people, doing events in the park, family fun days. My parade was amazing. I had a wicked good time in the parade. We did a hayride for the kids and stuff. I threw a movie night in the park. It's been a roller coaster, but at the same time, this has been an experience of a lifetime. I couldn't have asked for anything better. Even with my petitions being invalidated, even through the hurdles I've had to go through, I'm still here, right? So
okay, you're still fighting for it.
I'm still fighting for it, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to continue to be here. I'm going to continue to fight that hard fight, and I believe that I stand for the people. I think that people relate to me as, I am one of them. I do know what it's like to struggle. We all struggle. Whereas you don't see in our government where they relate. They don't relate to the people. We need to take the power and give it back to our people and have the people speak on their own behalf, the ones that are paying the bills, keeping the lights on. We got to give them that choice.
Okay.
That's a little bit about me, my background, and where I'm from.
All right. So let's talk about what you feel you bring to the table, or your qualifications for being the mayor.
Sure. So since November, I have attended every council meeting. I've been in every deliberation room, hearing, DPW meeting, legislative meetings, sitting, learning, watching Ron Woodward be the mayor, watching the council deliberate, watching them make changes in the agenda, making them enact laws, stuff like that. So, whereas my opponents, up until recently, they weren't involved in that. They didn't attend those meetings. I said in the beginning I would attend every meeting to see what it would take for me to run the city. Every single meeting I have attended to see exactly what I would need to do to run the city. And I see the flaws. So I think through my experience with that and being there, and it's called acting as if. So you go in, you sit there. Mainly I just listen. I listen and learn everything I possibly can from what's going on right now. And then I make changes in my head of what we could do differently. What path we could be taking to better the system the way it's working, better our meetings, more public hearings, of course. I could go on all day about stuff we need to change with the way those meetings are. And I think I'm more than qualified for it. I believe that in my heart, and I believe in my heart that I hope that I'm the person. I think I can be the person to run the city. And when I'm the mayor, it's not going to be just me. There's 11,915 people in the city, and at the end of the day, there's 11,915 people that are going to be the mayor with me, because the people's voices who I'm fighting for, That's who I've always fought for. I'm on the independent line. I don't have pressure. There's no pressure from any committee pressuring me. So I'm able to make choices based on what our people need, based on what our city needs.
Okay. So you've kind of already touched on probably some points already. So let's try to just elaborate a little bit of where your position is and what you plan to do once you become, or if you become mayor.
Sure. So my first move would be to obviously thank Ron Woodward for his long-term service. I would do that. And I also would like to see more things for our youth to do. Like I had said before, the youth is our future. And if we don't harness them now, protect them now, to redirect them now, they're the leaders of tomorrow. And on a realistic note, they are our leaders of tomorrow. So if you look at my generation, you look around and you'll see that they're not much in their package to be leaders. There's not much to offer. We need trades. We need to offer training for skilled trades, because more often than not, you'll see the jobs they get out of high school they need trades, skilled labor, entry-level jobs where they don't want to go to college. We offer training. We give them training. We send them to a training facility. We had a temp service for a while. We had a Deco, Matrix. We had Workload. We don't have those anymore. Why? Well, we need some of those back. We need to offer more opportunities for employment. We need to offer more economic growth, which is, instead of these businesses falling out of the sky and landing in our laps like they have been, we need to seek out business. We need to seek out every avenue possible to fill the vacancies in our city to offer employment. If you look back through history, you'll see that Nestle hired 450 to 460 employees, roughly, depending where you read. That's not that large of a number if you think about it. But that, Birdseye and Miller, they were huge in our city.
Sure.
We need to face the music and realize there is no industry, there's no distribution center, factory coming back to Fulton to produce a sustainable employment. We can't get them to come back. Why? Because our taxes are too high. The power, and the mayor will tell you this, the power is 40% cheaper in Wisconsin, where Nestle had gone. There's no reason for them to come back, so why would they come back? To offer jobs, to pay taxes? We have to give them reason to come back. We have to give them want to come back. So in order to be confident as a city, we need to appear confident as a city. Our codes department needs a lot of work. A lot of our departments need some work. We have to appear like we're willing. We're willing to accept people. We're willing to be proud of ourselves. We need to regain our morale, our confidence as a city. We need to do that. And that's what we will do. And if it takes every blood drop in my vein, we are going to do that. That's what I plan to do. I want to sell the water treatment plant. And the reason for that is, I know Daryl Hayden tried to privatize the water years ago, and it ended up something went through that couldn't happen. Well, right now we have 3 employees in the water treatment plant. I would offer them employment elsewhere in the city to ensure their quality of life, because they have families, obviously. So by privatizing the water company, I wouldn't just send it to Aqua. I wouldn't just send it to any random place. I would want it to be sold for a large quantity. And I've been in talks with a company out of Jersey that is interested in that plant for millions. 23 to 35 million is where they arranged in buying these plants and then selling the water. And you would just pay your water bill to a private entity. But with that, that's quick capital for us. Okay? So we sell the water treatment plant, boom, we no longer have the water treatment plant. Now you're paying a private entity for the water plant. All right, maybe your bill goes up $2, $3 a month. It's not going to go up. My calculations say it's not going to go up. But what's going to happen from that is that will lift our responsibility for the water delivery infrastructure below our roads. They are now responsible contractually, obviously, make it their obligation to fix those when they break, because we have 100-year-old infrastructure below our roads. We'll pave every road in our city with the capital gained off of that. Every road, 55 to 56 miles, right? It's 56 roughly miles of road in our city. We pave all those, so when a water main breaks, it's not us ripping it up. It's the private entity ripping up the roads, fixing the infrastructure, repaving the roads. So it's now no longer our responsibility. That will offer, so when that private entity comes in, they'll probably also ask for more employees. Because sure, there's 3 employees down there because there's a reason why there's 3 employees down there. We can't afford any more. So my guess would be they'd offer more employment down there. So After that, I would then implement my dollar sale program. I worked this program out to influence entrepreneurship, influence business to come here. So, Ethan, how are you going to bring business into the city of Fulton? That's a very widely asked question of me. I want to do a dollar sale program that any vacant city-owned commercial property or any vacant city property can be purchased for $1 with the contingencies that they have a good business proposal, they have projections of their gross annual income, they keep their codes within compliance, their taxes paid on time, and their sewer and garbage paid on time consecutively for 2 years. Once they've achieved that goal, they'll be offered to purchase that building for $1, and they have to employ 5 or more locals within the city residents. And I think with that dollar sale, we're doing two things. We're bringing local business here, people that want to start their business up. We're going to bring that in, private entities that want to open business. But we're also getting those buildings back on the tax roll. That'll add more money to our city purse. I'd like to implement a health and wellness check of our students in school. Whereas right now we have truancy officers go to the doors of kids that miss school. It takes 16 consecutive days for a student to miss school for the truancy officer to go to their house and check the well-being of that student. Whereas in Watertown, up in Brownsville, I know for a fact that for 2 days, if you miss school, given that's probably because it's a military school, they have a truancy officer at the door checking the well-being of that child. We are faced with a huge drug epidemic in our city. It's huge. We are the port for the drugs coming from Syracuse, 690, 481, coming right through our city, going to certain destinations, and then being distributed throughout our county. Mainly they stay right here in our hometown. With this health and wellness check of our students, sure, maybe not 2 days, maybe 4 or 5 days consecutive. And it had to be a repeat offense. So what I'd like to gain there is more often than not, you're going to find that the students that are missing school at a more prominently than others, you'll see that the parents, this isn't a way to tell people how to parent, how to I don't want to invade their privacy at all, because I've had that backlash. This is just a way for us to get in and say, is a student okay? Is a child okay? By doing that, sure, you go there, Molly's sick, she's sick in bed. Okay, fine, thank you, see you later. We go there, and you can just tell the caliber of people you're dealing with when you knock on the door. So truancy officer's in there. Probable cause is what we need for a warrant to search these residents, because you can't just go to somebody's house, knock, kick the door in and say, all right, you got drugs, you're going to jail. No. For probable cause, you need controlled by somebody to testify and a warrant signed by the judge. We can get rid of all those and use this health and wellness check of our students that miss school as a leg up in the race to find out how we can get rid of these drugs, where these drugs are going. Truancy officer in there, you see some paraphernalia on the table, okay? He's got a badge. That's probable cause, okay? The officer saw what he saw. That is probable cause for a warrant. So hopefully through that channel, we'll be able to cut down on some of the drugs in our city. They say if you cut off the supply, you'll cut off the demand. We cut off the supply, we're going to have a hankering of hurt because they're going to riot. And they hate labels, by the way. They being the people that are using drugs, that are hooked on drugs. We can't just lock them and throw the key away. We can't do that because they are our citizens, after all. What we need to do is influence healthy living. We need to redirect them as well. And nobody's ever asked an addict, what can we do to help you? They've asked, we can have recovering addicts speak about that life. We have recovering addicts speak on what they have experienced in their life, how the hardship they have gone on in their life, the effects it had on their families, okay? But nobody ever takes into consideration the person that is so strung out on these drugs, that are right in the middle of it. What can we do? What can we do to help you guys, to redirect you, to give you something to go for? I've been speaking with a couple doctors that are behind my campaign quite thoroughly, and their plan I think is a great plan. They want to do mental health and addiction center, 24-hour urgent care, not a rehab center. Because I believe if we bring a rehab center here, we'll have people from all walks of life coming from out of the county, all over the county, flooding our streets again, and that's just going to increase our volume of, and we already have a lot to deal with right now. The urgent care would be a good start to find a way into the minds of these individuals that need our help, so we can redirect them. not to lock them up, throw the key away. So the drugs are a big issue, the big issue for me. That's really a driving force of mine. I lost my best friend in November, and my partner in November. He overdosed on heroin and died. That's really what really kicked me into gear, to try and fight these drugs. That's why my kids aren't here. I don't want them to see that. Whereas they're out in the country, they don't see that. And I do feel for the families that are here. And believe you me when I tell you, I'm going to do everything I can for those to get rid of these drugs. I know it's everywhere. People say it's everywhere, it's everywhere, it's all over the place. Well, my focus right now is Fulton. And if we can get Fulton under control, and we can find a solution for Fulton, we can expand our horizons and help others as well. We have to do that. We have to do that. That's one of my priorities. Through this process, we have put together a platform that is 100% going to work. It is going to work with our people, their voices, our citizens' voices, running the show. Right now we have 6 councilmen and the mayor making choices for 11,915 people. We don't need that. We need public hearings. We have monthly council meetings. People aren't very well in attendance to that, but you got to ask yourself why. Why is that? Well, it's because they're probably sick of the same old, right? So I come in, I'm young, I'm energetic, I'm full of life, I'm ready to go. Billy Brother did amazing in Oswego. He's doing amazing in Oswego. And why is that? Young, he's energetic, he's full of information, he's got great ideas. I have great ideas. I want to work with Billy, okay, and do hear what he's doing there. And what he did in Oswego, and the way Oswego's working right now, and the reason it's working the way it is because their confidence is so high because of what he's done. And they're proud of their city. That's what we need to do here. We need to harness our waterfronts. We need to harness those grants. Get some grant writers in there to do nothing but write grants all day long. Whereas we have department heads right now. For instance, our fire chief writes his own grants. He's doing an amazing job writing his grants. Kudos to him. But wouldn't it be something if he could just go in and say, this is the grant I need, find me this grant, please. They do that all day long. They could be paid on commission of that grant. It doesn't have to come out of the city's fund. They get paid on commission of grants they find, which gives them incentive to find more grants. A lot of grants available nationwide. We need to take advantage of them. We will take advantage of them. The Nestle site, I have an idea for the Nestle site if you'd like to hear that. During the DRI meetings, they have talks that they already have plans for the Nestle site with the Oswego County business there that wants to put a building up over there. But I had already reached out to numerous places for the Nestle site, one of which was UPS. UPS wanted to come in, put in a hub like Syracuse, hire 1,500 employees. That's huge, astronomical. That was my last ditch effort after calling hundreds of companies to see if they'd be interested in that 24 acres. If we had a company of that magnitude come in there, put a building in there, would you sell that place for $1? Would you?
I'm not here to say.
Well, I certainly
I
would.
understand I see where you're putting it together.
Yeah, so I would sell that to them for $1. Why? Because A, no tax incentive. Okay, because that's what we're running into problems with tax incentives. Bird's Eye, we give them a tax incentive, and what happened? Okay, what's going to happen if we did that with them? Probably the same thing. Well, the last minute they backed out because they had to backtrack to go towards their Syracuse hub to get on the highway. But they were all for the idea of putting that hub down here because it's centrally located between Rochester, Watertown, Fulton's right here, and you have Syracuse. Okay, so that would be a perfect spot for a layover, a hub, distribution hub. They backed out last second because their double trailers could only go on a throughway. So after exhausting every business I could possibly think of for distribution, the only option is my convention center idea. And a convention center would be huge for the city of Fulton. It would bring in tourism from all over. For instance, St. Joseph's Hospital bought up the Lakeview Amphitheater. They see 17,900 and some change. The revenue that they're making off the amphitheater allows them to buy state-of-the-art medical equipment. It allows them to take doctors from upstate. They bought up North Med. So they're generating a large quantity of money, right? So I got to thinking, well, the Galisano Center works primarily on donations. Mainly on donation. So why would I not offer them a chance to buy stock, along with our local businesses to buy stock, you have a business here, buy stock in that convention center. Therefore, our locals get the kickback first, get the money first. We keep the money in-house. And that would bring tourism back in. We would be able to, shows from all over. Celine Dion was just in Buffalo not long ago, and they sold the arena out. What do you think happened to those businesses around there when Celine Dion was in town? They were booming. You know, we can do, today's technology is changing rapidly. Every day there's a new technological advance. We can use solar power. Why we haven't done that yet, I don't know. There's belief that there's a 25-year payback for the solar panels. There's not. I've been in touch with a lot of solar companies. It's about 7 years. 7 years you pay back. We can power all of our streetlights by solar power. They've already gone LED and they're saving us about $25,000 to $30,000 a year. Why haven't we gone solar with those? There's options to take to save tons of money with technology. Technology's great. It's changing. We need to implement those. We need to use them. We have to. I think our citizens will agree that we can become more of a green city and save money. I don't have any hidden agendas for the city. It's merely $26,000 a year to be the mayor. It's a part-time position. I want to be there full-time. I'm not going to be a part-time mayor. I'm probably be part-time salary, obviously, but I'll be there full-time. I'll be there probably from sunup to sundown most days the first couple of years. But I think I have it. I think I have what it takes. I believe that. I think the people believe it too, and I'm relatable. You see me all over the place. I'm out in the community. People know me personally out in the community because I've been so involved.
Sure.
And we need that. We need community love. We need a lot of help, a lot of Band-Aids. There's a lot of wounds to cover.
All right. It sounds like you have a well thought out program, and you're on your way to doing something here.
Yeah, something's going to happen. And at that Nestle site, if it's not that convention center, we always have market management companies that could come in, buy the property up, and then sublet out those individual areas where they're paying taxes too. And each business that comes in is employment. Do we want to turn it into a retail center? Probably not. Would it be ideal to have a distribution center or a factory in there? Absolutely. But what is not going to happen? I don't see that happening. I gotta be honest, I don't think, nobody can say that will happen with a straight face because it's just not happening. We need to think realistically, and realistically looking towards the future, we need stuff for the teenagers to do. We need to think about the forgotten age group there. And that forgotten age group is 13 to 27. Whereas we're putting Splash Park over at Hewlett Park, that's great for the little kids. Great for 3-year-olds up to about 12 years old, they're gonna get bored over there. But at 13 is a turning point in their life. This goes back to what I was saying about redirecting them. If we give them things to do, we can direct them in a path of success rather than a path of what crowd to hang out with, what not to do, and what not. The Heist, for instance, right here on the corner, I was for sale for $199,000, fully stocked, obviously no liquor license. I'd like to see that open right up for the children. Take the liquor out of there, keep the exact setting, give the kids something to do, because right now, the only thing they have to do is go to parties and want to hang out with their friends. That's where we're making a mistake, because we're forgetting.
So, let me expand a little bit on that just for a second. So you're talking about the Heist. Are you talking about some type of teen center?
Exactly,
Or,
yes.
okay.
So it would be a soda bar,
Okay.
pretty much for the children, for the teenagers, and up to about 21, obviously, because 21 you just go to a bar. Kids at that age, they want to go out, party, hang out with their friends. They don't want to go to the Bible and roller skate anymore. They don't want to go to the parks and swing on the swings anymore. Let's face it, times have changed. We don't have a movie theater in town. It would be great to have a movie theater in town. People want that.
Maybe your convention center could have one in it.
The convention center could expand into that. It could be anything over there at the Nestle site. The possibilities at that site are endless possibilities. But yes, a teen center is, I think, very important because they think we've forgotten them. And that's why I got some backlash when I showed a PG-13 movie at the park. I didn't care about that backlash, and here's why. Because that movie I showed in the park, the week before they had shown Spider-Man over at the Fairgrave. I got backlash for a PG-13 movie, and it was the Avengers Endgame. I had to go through a lot to do that, but I did that for the forgotten age group. I want them to know that we did not forget them. They will be there in our plan. They're in there in my plans. They absolutely are. They have to be. Otherwise, we're just going to keep going down the same path of drug infested, partying, and just missing school, and we just can't have that anymore. I don't want to see that anymore. People don't want that anymore. They're scared.
I agree. Well, I thank you for coming in. I
Did I
wish you
answer all
luck.
your questions?
You answered everything I think that people want to know about you, which is the
Yeah.
most important thing.
I am very dedicated in this. I have a passion for this city. I want my family here. I want to live here. I want to be proud of this city again. I want everybody to be proud of our city.
Okay.
I think that's what we're all going to work towards. But ultimately, in the end, maybe I'm the guy.
There you go. Thank you and good luck in the election.
I appreciate
We'll be
that.
talking to you again on October 3rd.
October 3rd, yes. Sounds good. I'll see you there.